Against the Ropes podcast.
He's desperately trying to cover up. Ali won't extend himself while Lyle's against the rope. But Ali smells blood.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Against the Ropes. I am Gio Garcia. I am alongside Christian Mosqueda. Episode 63, right? We think so?
63. Sounds about right.
Correct us if we're wrong, people. Losing track.
That's a good problem to have, for sure.
It is. But, yeah, man, we're going to get started real quickly because we do have some guests here who are going to be joining us, right?
Yeah.
Anything you want to mention before we get started?
Nah, just this guy's like one of the most exciting characters in boxing. Not just boxing, I would say just in entertainment, in the sports entertainment industry, because, you know, entertainment is the name of the game. We see this in wrestling. We see this in other sports. If you're entertaining, you're already doing half the job. And this guy is, you know, doing just that, being an entertainer inside and outside the ring.
And we do have him on the line now. We have Blair, the Flair Cobbs. Woo!
That's right, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How's life?
Most electrifying man in boxing.
Oh, I like that. Well, how's life, Mr. Cobbs? You're fresh off a win, fresh off a lot of good exposure out here.
Absolutely. It feels great. It feels wonderful to be acknowledged. Shout out to all my fans in California.
Hey.
I love everybody.
Yes, sir. You want to get started, Chris, with some questions? We have Chris here. I'm Gio. You spoke to me earlier, man. Very excited to have you here. I know the people must be excited. If they're not, let me tell them, man. They don't know what they're missing. Chris, you want to get started with some questions? Here we go. Chris, you're on the phone now.
What's up, Chris?
Hi, Mr. Cobbs. I have a question. Where did this energy come from to be you know, an entertainer aside from being a boxer?
It just comes naturally. As a kid, I guess I just didn't get a lot of attention as a child. So what happens when a child don't get a lot of attention? They act up, and when the cameras is on, people are watching. I act out, and it just becomes a part of me.
Nice. And we talked about how
It's a part of me.
nice. Yeah, we talked about how boxers don't have to be just fighters, but they have to be entertainers. You know, you have to sell yourself. You don't have to, you know, entertain the masses because, you know, as a boxer, you can keep the boxing fan, but you also have to entertain the casual, and the casual just wants to be, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. The boxing is a very special thing. I haven't really seen anything quite like it because there's so much going on in boxing. You have politics. You have all kinds of different cultures. You have the whole world at stake. You have a lot of things in entertainment, and then also you have an actual sport in boxing, and it's you have to be a special fighter. You have to be a special person to not only win, but look impressive while doing it and winning the fans over. Hey. You know, whether you're the good guy, you're the bad guy, you have to be something bigger in order to be a true great fighter.
Nice. And you take kind of the character of the Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Woo!
What does he mean for you personally?
Oh, he's an incredible individual. I love the way I was just so inspired by his charisma, his ability to win over a crowd, to just step in a room and light up the scene, light up the whole room. And I take that into my boxing. I take it within. I study every single one of these WWE wrestlers, and back in the old days with WCW and NWO, and it's just such a wonderful experience and journey going through boxing with these characters inspiring me and pushing me forward to my true potential.
Nice. What are some other boxers that you grew up watching that they're what are some other ones that you take a little bit from, or what are some other wrestlers that you take that entertainment flair from?
I like a lot. I like a lot of people. I was like the '90s kid, so so back in my day, it was Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
It
Heartbreak
was Triple
Kid.
H.
Yeah.
The Heartbreak Kid.
The
That was
Game.
my man.
DX.
You know, Bret Hart. They had a lot of good wrestlers back in those days. Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and at the back end it was The Rock. You know, The Undertaker. It was just a wonderful experience just living in that moment back in the old days when you had the N64 and you playing
the
you
Super
playing
Nintendo.
007.
Yeah.
You know?
Golden Gun. Yeah, no, we're the same age.
GoldenEye. Right?
Yeah. You know, and I kind of brought all of that into boxing and into my persona. I truly believe that I am the reflection of all of our generation, past history, and especially in boxing. One of my biggest inspirations is Muhammad Ali and how he stood for what he believed in. But not only that, but he was a true character, a true artist in the ring and outside of the ring with the way he presented himself as an entertainer.
Nice. What was your? I mean, you probably weren't old enough to see his fights, but with the advancement of YouTube, what are some of the most memorable fights that you witnessed of Muhammad Ali?
It's funny how you said that. There's so many. It was funny. Like actually, what's one of the most interesting fights I've seen him is where I kind of pattern what I do off of that type of style. He would be losing the fight. Like when he fought Oscar Bonavena, he was losing every single round, and boom, knocked him out. Yeah. It was amazing. I think it was in like the 9th, 10th round or something. Like it was coming to a close. Like, yo, this fight is about to be over, and boom, he knocks him out. Yeah. You know, and then it's kind of like he did that exact same thing with George Foreman. Whereas though he's losing the fight, he's getting beat up, he's getting bruised really badly. He's in there with the biggest and the baddest man possibly alive. George Foreman is such an incredible athlete and such a powerful puncher. He can come back off of like years, almost a whole decade, and still win a world title as an old man. There's no telling how powerful George Foreman is, and to beat such a man at a young age, at his prime youth, is truly remarkable. And it was just like that. It was just like a fairy tale. He was losing the fight. He was going. You know what I mean? People didn't think that he would win, and then all of a sudden he finds his opportunity and strikes him and knocks the giant down. It's just such a wonderful experience, just knowing that such a thing can possibly happen. You know? Yeah. And I like to have anybody that truly knows my story to be inspired, to truly know that no matter what, no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, you still have a chance and you still can make it in life, in whatever you're passionate about, whatever sport that you like, whatever you're doing in life, that you can still make it in life.
Nice. Well said. I'm going to give you the phone to my co-host, Gio. Got some questions for you.
Yeah, great stuff, man. You know what? Talking about stories and history, I mentioned to you that I was reading some stuff about you growing up, about your father and yourself and your sisters. Is that story true?
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of my, like the stories of my background was something that like I tried to erase, you know, because like that history was very tough, and like it's moments in life where though like you're not supposed to talk about this, you're not supposed to talk about that, and like you know, but like I've grown beyond that experience, and I've known that this type of experience is what truly motivates and inspires people. So I'm not afraid to speak about it.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? It's very interesting because reading that, everything kind of connected, because I was, of course, in the post-fight interview, you mentioned Mexico, Guadalajara, you know, all that stuff. So it started all to make sense. But You know, can you tell us a little bit about that experience in Mexico? That's where you started boxing, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I started boxing in Mexico at a time in my life where I lost everything. I lost my identity as a person, as a human being. I had absolutely nothing to gain, nothing to give to this world. I was a young person, but at the same time, I was going through old person problems. My father was on the run from the law, and me and my sister had to flee from from the country. And in that time period, that was some of my darkest days. You
Yeah.
know, like when you're going through those type of dark days. I mean, especially at that particular time, and it's horrible to say,
Yeah.
but even suicide is not really a bad idea. At the time, it's like it's not that bad of an idea. Like, it's either we're going to die here, die right now on my terms, or just wait for somebody to take us out. Because it's a very dangerous dangerous place that we're in. We're not, like, and it's not just the Mexico thing, but it's the field of business that my father was in as a kingpin drug dealer. It's a serious business, and you have to have a lot of guards, a lot of security, and it's not easy. Being in such a hostile environment where it's very easy, you could easily be kidnapped or picked up or whatever, and you just kind of just living on a prayer.
Wow. Amazing stuff, man. And we'd love to have you on the studio someday, come here, chop it up.
Absolutely. After like sometime in January, I'm pretty sure I can make it down there.
Perfect.
To come down there. I'm pretty sure I will be down there pretty soon.
Perfect, man. We'll hit you up. But you know what? I want to discuss your last fight too, because we're getting into that a little bit. You got dropped in that fight, but let me tell you this: like you obviously talk about the stuff getting knocked down, getting back up, in real life. But in the ring, it seemed like even when you got knocked down, it seemed like you were still gonna win that fight, like regardless. That's what it seemed like as a spectator watching on TV. How did that knockdown affect you in that fight, if at all?
It's just another lesson on, like, especially when it comes to technical things, because I'm as my age is older, but I'm still young as a fighter.
Yeah.
And my body is still young too, incredibly young. So I'm just going through the learning process. Learning how to catch a punch, how to block a punch, how to roll punches, knowing what to do and what not to do. In that particular fight, I'm fighting a guy that's highly resilient, so he's not going to just falter, in the face of danger. He's never really been stopped.
Yeah.
And like the last dude that ever stopped him was a guy that was like twice his size. It was unbelievable. I actually seen the one guy that stopped him, and that one guy that stopped him was huge. He was like nowhere near in his weight class.
Yeah.
Talking about like a welterweight versus a light heavyweight, and like that show was supposed to be a show where though this guy was going to take me the distance, and so I'm very pleased that at myself. I'm very pleased to myself that I got the work done and I finished the opponent. But when I got hit in the back of the head, I didn't really get hurt too bad. I just got off balance for a second, and my glove touched the canvas for a second.
Yeah.
And I was surprised that the referee called it a knockdown, but I was pleased at the fact that this is something that promotes drama.
Yep.
And I love to put on shows and create drama. I don't want you to know that I'm going to win 100% of the time. This is like boxing has gotten to a point where like you have like the A fighter and the B fighter, and like it's like, oh yeah, this guy's definitely going to win.
Yeah.
Oh, who's going to win against Earl Spence and Sean Porter? Well, Sean Porter is definitely going to lose because Earl Spence is there, and Earl Spence is going to win, and everybody's so sure.
Yeah.
I want some drama. I want people to not know what's going to happen,
Yeah.
and also be unpredictable in the sense of how I take care of business. And that fight was supposed to go the distance. My promoters, everybody expected it to just be a a bummy fight because of how this guy conducts his business. But I was able to make it a crowd pleasing fight, take the show in a very, very big card.
Yeah, definitely.
Boxing.
I know myself. I know when somebody faces adversity like that, I say, oh, he's actually fighting real fighters. He's not just fighting a guy he's set up to knock out quickly. But were you surprised when he couldn't continue?
Yeah, a little bit. I was a little surprised. I mean, I was crushing him, and I had a whole lot more ass whooping ready for him when if he was to come back out. I was excited because then I figured him out. I figured out how to stop his punches. So like I was able to get very close and throw combinations and get off really good, exciting punches and shots and punch in between his punches. And I'm one of those guys that change and evolve very, very fast. So even in that fight, I evolved and became a completely different fighter. And I started walking him down. Most people didn't even expect that. I started walking him down, and it was like I was looking forward to it. And then they stopped the fight. I was like, okay. And then I looked into it a little bit farther. It was probably that body shot that I landed while I was throwing those punches. Every punch that I land is very strong, very fast, and very precise, and could do damage, whether it's the head shot or a body shot.
Yeah, for
he got
sure.
hit with both head and a body shot.
Yeah, man, Cobbs, it was great talking to you. I know we have to cut it kind of short, but we'd love to have you in the studio someday, man. Whenever you're here in LA, I'm gonna pass the phone to my buddy Chris here for his last words. But thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Good talking to you.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah, once again, Mr. Cobbs, thank you for joining us via telephone. We can't wait to have you, in studio with us. Again, you're one of the most exciting boxers and sports entertainers right now. So keep doing your thing, and we can't wait to see you in your next fight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before he goes, some words in Spanish for the Hispanic population.
Con todos mis fans en México, te amo con todo mi corazón.
Hey. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was.
¿Qué pasó, güey?
Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Blair the Flair Cobbs. Thanks for speaking with us, Mr. Cobbs. We'll speak soon.
Thank you.
Thank you for
and
joining.
Look, to all my fans, you guys can check me out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube at Blair the Flair. And for more exciting content, BlairTheFlair.com. The most exciting man in boxing. Woo!
Hey.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cobbs. Have a great day.
No problem.
Awesome.
All right, bye-bye.
Shout out to Against the Ropes podcast. Had a great time. Great conversations. I want to thank you guys for being part of the show. And I'm looking forward to the next one.
Michael, you already know I'm a fun guy.
Hola amigos, soy Juan Francisco AtR. Quiero mandar un saludo para mis amigos de Contra las Cuerdas. Échenle muchas ganas. Un abrazo, muchas bendiciones.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. You know what mine is? Let's box, bitches. It's almost fight night.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Huge shout out to Against the Ropes.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you guys for the interview, and hope to see you guys soon.
Against the Ropes, always doing the right thing.
Shout out to Against the Ropes, man. I appreciate you guys for having me, taking the time out your day.
Against the Ropes, #1.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.